try and learn as much as possible. And then at the end of the episode, we're each going to pick one to hold, one to flip, and one to dump. Hypothetically speaking, we're not actually going to do these things. And then, just learn about these tokens, find out what's going on in the world of crypto. So anything to add to that,
Brilliant.
Alex?
No, probably my light will go off at some point because I forgot to charge them, so it's pretty dark in the UK now. But apart from that, yes, I selected 3 recent airdrops, pretty big airdrops. One of them is actually still ongoing, and I did it on purpose because there's not a lot of data on it. And what's really interesting is the other 2 tokens that were airdropped. Funny enough, they've gone up in price. So yeah, kind of keen to see how to analyze these tokens and also, learn a bit more as to how to get into some of these airdrops, how to, mm, just be eligible for some of these potential substantial rewards. But yeah, apart from that, whenever you're ready, let's crack on. I sent you 3 tokens and you've got it open.
Yeah, quick reminder, airdrop season is hack central, so be extra careful with your wallets, make sure you know what you're connecting to, and don't follow any links from Twitter unless you're 100% sure that they are legit. Cool, so let's get started. So the way we do this is I just have a look through the project. I have no knowledge of any of these projects, so it's just like learn as you go. And then Alex will sometimes do some technical analysis, and then we'll see what happens. So first coin is Sai. How do you pronounce that?
I've seen content just saying say, so let's go with that.
Okay, Sai. Let's have a quick look at the
That
price
tells you how
action.
much we know about this project that we cannot even pronounce.
Yeah, this is the same every week. It's like, how do you pronounce it? How old is the project? And and then how bad is their website? Usually, their website is we'll see. But this one's got a market cap of $1.7 billion. So you'd expect the website to be a little bit better than usual. Let's see if I can find the website. Say.io. Enabling mass adoption of digital assets. Say is the fastest, layer 1 blockchain designed to scale with the industry. I think I have come across this. I think this has been mentioned somewhere before that I've, look at this. Trusted by world-class operators, investors, and institutions. We've got Coinbase. We've got, actually, I don't recognize any of the other ones, but some, no doubt, big names here.
Yeah, so STEPN is a move to earn app, pretty famous, and Jump as well, big brand in the space, and Yield Guild as well, pretty much in the gaming space. So it's a bit of a mixed bag of different investors, to be honest.
Mm. Yeah, it says trusted by world-class operators, investors, and institutions. So I don't know how many of these are investors and how many of these are just associated or partners, but that's always something they do on websites that have logos on the front page. It's just like social proof, and some of the time they don't actually have any relationship with these companies. It's just made to look that way. But I'm
Yeah,
going
it
to give
sounds like,
Say the benefit of the doubt here.
basic Web3 web design is header, fancy logos, a bit of info, and then join our Discord.
Exactly. Yeah, and this is following the playbook exactly, like some kind of bold statement on the first page as well, enabling mass adoption of digital assets. That is a pretty bold claim. But let's see if we can find some more information. Powerful infrastructure, unparalleled speed. So unlocked by twin turbo consensus. Please tell me if you know what that is. I don't know what that is. All with low transaction costs and industry-leading throughput. So they're targeting volume here, volume and speed, and security. Obviously, you don't want to invest in a blockchain that is insecure, but that's important. Okay, we've got a comparison to other blockchains. Transactional throughput, 10 transactions per second, 20 transactions per second on Ethereum, 10,000 TPS on Solana, and 20,000 OPS. I don't know what operations per second, maybe. Seems like they're not comparing apples to apples, but maybe there's a good reason for that. We've got a 60 minutes transaction finality on Ethereum, 60 minutes on Bitcoin, 6 minutes on Ethereum, and around 2.5 seconds on Solana, with 380 milliseconds on Sei, which is a big step forward. Front-running protection built into Sei. I think I'm right in saying you can do that on certain protocols in Ethereum, possibly Solana as well, but maybe it's not built in the same way. And we've got processing style parallelize with Solana and Sei versus sequential in Bitcoin and Ethereum. And Sybil protection, proof of stake, proof of stake, proof of stake, and of course Bitcoin, proof of work. It's nice that they've actually.
Yeah, so there was something interesting that Vitalik, the founder of Ethereum, he spoke about this a while back, saying that there's a blockchain trilemma. You cannot meet three elements, which is security, speed, and price, right? So if you want something fast and secure, it will not be cheap. If you want something that is cheap and fast, it will not be secure, and so on. However, the concept of Sei, from what I understand, is that they are actually resolving that trilemma. And if they are, there would be kind of, a revolution in blockchain, because nobody's managed to hack all of that. So Bitcoin is super secure, it's cheap, but it's not fast. Ethereum is super secure. It's how did I blank now? But anyway, so it's not cheap. Solana, cheap and fast, but not very secure, and so on, right? So yeah, that's was quite interesting to see. It's I'm not sure if it actually does what they're doing and if there's any proof of that, but it could be quite interesting as a blockchain concept.
Yeah, that's a good point. And also, security is sometimes, when we talk about security, we sometimes roll in how decentralized the blockchain is. So in this example, I don't know how decentralized Sei is, but one of the criticisms of Solana is often that it's very centralized. A lot of the power is held in a few places. And I think Solana maxis would challenge that, and it's very controversial. And actually, there was a big debate about when Ethereum moved to proof of stake, how decentralized it was, and whether there was a risk of a few big players, a few big stakers hacking the network or stealing funds or doing things like double spending. But yeah, that's something that I would want to know. We're not going to probably have time to go into detail and say, but how does it work? How can we run our own nodes? Can we see how many people are participating in the network? How secure is that? Stuff like that. Very important with the layer one.
About Sei?
Sorry, what was that, Alex?
I was just checking with Fabrizio, because we've got somebody else in the room today, just checking if there's any input.
No, I'm just listening.
Cool. Well, no worries. I mean, yeah, go for it.
Who's building on Sei? Axeler. Oh, Pyth. That's the Oracle we reviewed last week. So go back to that episode if you want to know more about Pyth. We did obviously another top level look at that. A new blockchain design space. Lots of marketing stuff, some news. Foresight Ventures brings Sei Ecosystem Fund to $120 million. That's a lot of money. Cool. So first glance, Sei, I'm going to stick with Sei, but I'll probably change again, is doing well. Price action since August the 14th. Wow, this is a very new layer one. So only a few months of price action, but we've been going up. It started at 0.17, so 17 cents, and we're now sitting around 70 cents. And the last month or so has been more or less flat. And 3 months, we've gone up quite a bit. So yeah, it's been doing well in terms of price. Where can you buy Sei? You can buy it on Binance, Bybit, so various centralized exchanges. And yeah, we can see the biggest exchange here is Binance right now with 44% of the volume. So yeah, I won't dwell too much more on Sei. It's number 50 in the on the CoinGecko charts by market cap, so it's a pretty big player already, backed by some big names, and they're attempting to solve one of the biggest challenges in the blockchain space, which is throughput and transaction volume and handling. Like, for example, if you have a blockchain game, you're going to want to have a lot of throughput. You're going to want to store a lot of information on that blockchain. And right now, that's a challenge for chains like Ethereum, and or even more so for Bitcoin. So big opportunity, big project, and so far seems so good. Alex, do you have any thoughts on Sei?
No, I'm trying to find information as to what the utility is for the token, just to, I mean, it's quite substantial growth for a new token. Generally, these tokens just drop in price after they go live on exchanges, but somehow this token is a brand new blockchain, and it's produced a 6 to 7x in the space of 6 months. So just trying to understand, I'm not sure if you found any information about what use the token has, because if it's a governance token, it's surprising that had that growth. But if it's used for paying fees and that kind of thing, it will be another conversation. But I cannot find anything on at least CoinMarketCap or on their website.
Yeah, there's nothing on CoinGecko either. There is a white paper that had just opened, but it's pretty dense. So probably not going to read all of this right now, but that is a good question. What is the utility? Is there any use for this coin? And that would have a big impact on potential future value as well. So a good question to ask. Another thing I would sometimes check is the GitHub activity, and check the main repositories they use, see how much activity there is. So we've got a Cosmos fork on the Sei protocol, updated 1 hour ago. A bit of activity there. Look at the number of likes and the number of people contributing to the code, because obviously the more developers you have actively contributing to your project, the more, the better, basically. So yeah, the more stuff they're going to build for it. So that's an interesting thing to check. And often on CoinGecko, they'll have a link, like here, they have a link to the GitHub source code. So something to have a look at. But for now, unless Alex or Fabrizio, you have any extra things to add, I'll move on.
No, feel free to move on to, Celestia.
Okay, Celestia. Much easier to pronounce. TIA is the token, TIA. And let's have a quick look at the price action. Again, very new. October 30th was the first tracked price on CoinGecko at $2.30. And then the most recent as of this month, January 31st, 2024, is $16.84. So that is a pretty substantial increase. And we're looking at a $2.7 billion market cap, which is number 34 on the list. I have to confess, I know nothing about Celestia, which is surprising every week that I just have heard none of these projects, but it's testament to how many things are being built right now.
I mean, there's thousands of projects, right? There's thousands and thousands of projects, and it's hard to keep up with the new ones as well, because you can see this is from October. Savers from summertime. This was from Q4 last year. So it's really hard to know, because there's a new project came out, pretty big and influential project came out just a couple days ago, and everybody's just raving about it on Twitter, right? So yeah, very hard to keep up.
That's what why it makes the space exciting to be in. It's impossible to track everything, but sometimes some really interesting tech appears, and it's good to follow. There's a bit of information on CoinGecko for this one. Celestia is a modular data availability network. It simplifies the process of launching blockchains, making blockchain technology more accessible and user-friendly, Unlike traditional blockchains that handle multiple functions, Celestia specializes in specific roles, which leads to enhanced scalability, flexibility, and interoperability. This specialization enables developers to create blockchain applications for mass adoption. There's a quick intro video, which we're not going to watch now. And there's a bit on the tokenomics as well. Oh, no, there's not. Tokenomics is not available. So let's do another quick browse of their website. The first modular blockchain network, Celestia, is a modular data availability network that securely scales with a number of users, making it easy for anyone to launch their own blockchain. So another term that's used, I think, is blockchain as a service. So maybe this is a good platform for that. Tap into the abundant throughput enabled by data availability sampling. The first architecture that securely scales with a number of users. Anyone can directly verify and contribute to Celestia by running a light node. Okay, so this is a tech-heavy project, a infrastructure investment, something that I'm always a big fan of. If you want to invest in the blockchain, you want to be the person that's providing the tools for people building on the blockchain, rather than investing in risky one-off projects, which can pay off. But I prefer to have more like kind of a macro view, I guess. Build whatever, deploy fast, launch a blockchain with leading Ethereum rollup frameworks, or transform nearly any VM into your own sovereign chain. With Celestia underneath, a customizable blockchain becomes easy to deploy as a smart contract. Cool. So this, I guess, a use case for this would be, I'm planning to release a blockchain game. I want my own blockchain. I want everything to be sovereign and controlled by me. And I don't want to learn how to build a blockchain from scratch. So I want to use a service like Celestia, and they will handle a lot of the heavy lifting.
Yeah, what's really interesting about this project, and I did try to read about this project before we joined today, for two reasons. One, it's also built on Cosmos. Cosmos is a chain that I really like, and I believe that anybody that was staking Cosmos was eligible for the airdrop. I missed it, but that's why it's good to keep up with the news. And back to the founder, was this guy who's a prolific hacker. He actually worked for Anonymous. He joined the Anonymous group, and essentially he hacked a US government agency. It seems that he didn't go to jail for hacking through that hack, because he was just 16. So they just lay him off. And I mean, you're just 16. You're not going to go. Oh, here we go. Was arrested, as you can see there, at 16, but didn't go to prison for it. But in any case, like a top level developer. I think that if anybody that is watching this thing that is a developer, like, forget about it. Like, this guy is just some top level genius, like in the Matrix. I'm sure that he sees people with code or something like that. And super interesting, because someone that's really been a genius developer from his teams, joined forces with a couple other founders to build Celestia. What's also interesting is this. So he's one of the founders of ChainSpace, and acquired by Facebook to become part of Libra, so the Facebook blockchain. And so they then moved on to building something that was a bit cooler than working for Facebook. So I thought that it was important for just to mention that, because sometimes the same way that happens with many other projects, and especially in the NFT space happens a lot, but in crypto as well, the founders are also drive a lot that price action.
Yeah, we should analyze founders more. That's a good point. That's a huge aspect of investing in any project. If you have some strong founders, then whatever happens, come rain or shine, they're going to be able to pull through. And having a genius hacker as one of your founders is always a good sign.
Yep.
Luckily, we've got one in Wobble, but
yep. We'll not tell you what he hacked. I'm sure that
Anyway,
Over
so
16 can go to jail.
yeah.
Let's avoid that. No, okay. Yeah, let's carry on.
So yeah, it's a platform. It's got a good founder or good founders, and it's built on Cosmos, which is a strong base to be built on. Good websites, some serious market cap, some serious trading volume. We've seen $163 million in the last 24 hours. And it's only been around since October last year. So this is new, this is big, and they're making a big play in the space. I think a question that I would like to answer that I probably won't be able to answer in the short space of time we have is who is building on Celestia? Are they who has deployed a blockchain on the Celestia network? What are they using for? Is it getting traction? Is it working? I don't know if that's possible to answer those questions. I don't know if they even are, if it's possible to build right now on the network, or whether they're still building that out. But we can look. Well, one thing we can look at is their GitHub. I would expect such a tech-heavy project to have a substantial GitHub presence. Let's see. Let's have a look at the people. Okay.
Different from what the Say was doing, Celestia doesn't have any fancy logos on the website, so it's a bit tough to
Right.
keep track of who's building.
Yeah, this one, I mean, the core repository has got quite a bit of activity on it by the looks of it. Nearly 10,000 commits, and 263 contributors. Let's compare that to the Say protocol. Let's see if I can pick the one that's got the most activity. We've got 16 contributors, so it's a lot more people contributing to the Celestia core code base, which is a good sign. It's obviously very active. So yeah, that's my brief summary of Celestia. Anything to add to that, Alex or Fabrizio?
I found this page on the Celestia website that does show you some of those apps and services that are on Celestia, which might be interesting to have a look. Seeing that Arbitrum has a rollup framework. What else? I did recognize someone else in here. Dimension as well, and Gelato Network. So yeah, I mean, there's a bunch. I'm sure that there's loads there. Yeah, more people would recognize Manta. I believe that we did some content on Manta, didn't we?
Yes, yeah, not quite recently. Manta seems to be doing very well as well. So that's a good sign, I think, for everyone.
So yeah, there's a bunch of options and stuff going on. Wormhole, they've got something going on that I participated on. I didn't know much about them, but there we go. Another logo that I recognize. And yeah, so it seems that there's some builders.
Yeah,
so
that's a good sign. That's a very good sign. Okay, so that's an interesting one. I will not reveal my decision yet because we have one more token to look at, and that is Jupiter, with a price of 68 cents. And let's have a look at the price action. Wow, this one is super new, like fresh off the press. This one, January 31st, which was
this morning.
This is the newest coin we've ever taken a look at. So that's quite rare that we see anything this new. There's not really much point in looking at the price at this point because there's so little data. But already we're seeing a market cap of $916 million, and it's up to number 73 on the CoinGecko chart. Let's see if we can find out what is Jupiter. Let's have a look at the website, jupe.ag. Okay, so it's some kind of exchange. Interesting that they don't have a marketing front page. They've just got, you just drop you straight into the app. So maybe a decentralized exchange, you're swapping USDC for Sol, connect your wallets. What have we got? MetaMask. Okay, so we're looking at EVM chains here, I guess. You can put limit orders, some other trading options, and a station. What is the station? Jupiter Space Station. Welcome to the space station. Home for cats curious about Jupiter. The ultimate central exchange replacement on Solana. We're building the ultimate central exchange replacement, and we believe Solana is the perfect home for it, marrying low transaction fees with Jupiter's commitment to product excellence. You'll never have to go back to the centralized exchanges again. I'm sorry, I can't say sexes again. That's just it's too bad. And then we've got various Twitter reviews or little sound bites. Strategy, thesis, and ethos. It's our time. We're ready. Users want it. Pie is baking. Okay, not sure what that means. Okay, so it's a centralized exchange on Solana. Interesting. You probably know more about this, a lot more about this than I do, Alex, because you have some more experience in the Solana ecosystem. My question for you is, why does Solana need a centralized exchange?
Well, so this is more of it's like the Uniswap for Solana. And it's so anybody that's got a Phantom wallet, just by default will be using Jupiter. So anybody that had a Phantom wallet and exchanged coins directly on Phantom is automatically eligible for this airdrop that's happening right now. So at the end of the day, it's just another exchange, and not necessarily because we need another one, but they're doing really good work, and they're really dominating in the space. Funny enough, according to CoinGecko, you should be able to see this. Jupiter has a much higher trading volume than Uniswap. It could be that people were farming for the airdrop, but it could also be that that people are choosing Jupiter over the fees that you would have to pay on Uniswap. So it is it's an interesting one, and I selected it on purpose because this is what's really tough about low market cap coins or new coins, is when is it a good time to jump in, and if there's no data, especially for those that want to go into a IDO or to that are participating in airdrops. So yeah, quite curious to see what else you identify out of this. Something that I do not know is anything about the Jupiter token. I know about Jupiter, but I haven't read anything. I haven't had a chance to read through what the benefit would be, for anybody to keep the Jupiter token.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I guess when you say 24 trading volume, do you mean trading volume of the token itself or trading volume on the exchange? Because
on the exchange.
Really? Wow, that's huge, because the Uniswap exchange volume is massive. Is there a way we can compare numbers for Jupiter trading volume versus Uniswap? I'd be really interested to see.
Yeah, it's if you go on CoinGecko, there is a tab that is crypto exchanges. So at the top it says exchanges, and then crypto exchanges, decentralized. Sorry.
Decentralized.
If you click on decentralized, you will see Jupiter's $1 billion in 24 hours compared to 780 on Uniswap.
That's huge.
And then the following one is Orca, which is also in Solana.
Yeah, I guess if you add Arbitrum and Ethereum, I guess, and yeah, you've got the different layer 2 split out, maybe that combined would be above Jupiter, but to have that kind of volume in such a short space of time is fantastic. And yeah, the next question from that is, what kind of utility does the Jupiter token itself have? Is there any link with the trading volume? Because as we've said before on the subject of exchange tokens, it's the value of the token is very much tied to the or it should be tied to the volume. If you're paying fees, or if you're paying some kind of, if there is a utility tied directly to the exchange, then, and the exchange is doing very well, then the token should increase in value. So it'd be really interesting to find out how the tokenomics of Jupiter work, and what that link to the actual process of exchanging tokens is. It seems like there's not a huge amount of information about Jupiter, at least on CoinGecko. So I think before anyone was to invest in Jupiter, I'd want to know those questions. What is the actual utility here? What are the promises being made for people that own Jupiter token? And I would base my decision on whether to invest on that. But in the absence of any solid information, I'm just going to look quickly at the Jupiter GitHub. We've got Token List, which I guess is their front end website. Space Station. Not 100% sure what the space station is exactly. Is this? Oh, that's on the station.jupiter.ag. I guess that's the community hub, maybe. And then we've got a few other repositories. So it looks like Token List is their most active, and obviously it's a very new project, so that's going to be very active. 192 contributors. And it's obviously been edited a lot. Last commit was 2 days ago on the main branch. So yeah, good sign. Things are moving. In summary, Jupiter seems to be doing very well. The volume is very high and above Uniswap, which is incredible. And the token, it's hard to say what the value of the token is, but based on the market cap, a lot of people are making some very big bets on the token itself. So it'll be an interesting one to watch. Yeah, any final thoughts on Jupiter before we move to a decision, Alex?
Yeah, I think that, I don't know, just there's a few unanswered questions, and I guess that's a key point, right? As to, is this token just a governance token, or is it used for swap fees, like Uniswap as an example? In terms of rewards, I'm sure that there's information out there, and any Solana maxis might just be going, just pulling their hair and going mad that we're saying this. But yeah, that's the whole point of this, right? It's we're not extremely educated in any of these tokens. That's the whole point, is complete unbiased opinion. And yeah, no, I cannot find anything. I'm on their Twitter trying to see if there's any documentation as to what the token is used for. But I must say that as a Jupiter user, this is something that I just found out about a couple weeks ago. So it's not that it's really easy to keep up with every single update of every single project, right? So yeah, I'd like to know if this token is going to have any utility within the overall ecosystem of Jupiter, if it's used for fees or if there's any staking benefits, etc. But yeah, apart from that, I think that it would be good just to hear your thoughts and then jump into a decision of which token to hold, flip, or dump.
Yeah, that's kind of what we do on this, isn't it? We just kind of blindly roll up into some community, like smash around for a while. It's like a bull in a sweet shop, a bull in a china shop. That's the expression. We don't know much information. We have a very, very surface level knowledge of any of these projects, but it's a good test for any marketing team out there how to communicate a concept to a group of semi-educated users. How quickly can you get the idea of your blockchain across, or the idea of your platform across? So it's fun to do it anyway. And yeah, like you said, people are probably tearing their hair out because of the things we're saying, but that's all part of the fun. So yeah, I'm just looking at the Solana price here, but it seems to be holding steady at around $100 as of the last few days. So obviously the airdrop season hasn't seen any massive decrease. Sometimes I think with airdrops you see people taking out their investments out of the native token and going into the new tokens, but we haven't seen a lot of that by the looks of it in Solana. Okay, so the decisions, just a quick recap, is hold, flip, or dump. Which one are you going to hold for the long term? which one are you going to flip and hope for short-term profits, and which one are you going to dump because either you don't believe in the project or you think it's a risky investment and you don't want to be involved. Starting with hold, I'm going to go for Celestia because we're seeing some strong price action. It's obviously, the founder sounds like some kind of genius and possibly knows what they're doing. It's built on Cosmos, very strong foundation, and I can just think of quite a few use cases straight off the bat for this. I think it's going to be a massively growing sector. Blockchain as a service is going to be a big thing in the future, especially when like Starbucks, I think Starbucks already have a chain, but like especially when big brands start rolling into the space and want to have their own, they want to have control, but they don't want to build something from scratch. This is the kind of thing that's going to drive up the Celestia price. So I'm thinking long-term Celestia, I'm going to hold that. Flip, I'm going to go with, actually I'm going to go with a last-minute decision change. I'm going to go with Jupiter for Flip because it's so new and it seems like they've got a huge amount of volume. The big question, like I said, is what is the utility for this token? But assuming there is some kind of tie-in with the token, I would expect this to go up. That's my short-term bet. I don't know enough about the project to really want to invest in long-term, but yeah, I would expect that getting in now might mean you can farm some short-term gains. And then just by being the last one, I'd say I'm going to dump Sei. The price action is actually really good, so possibly the wrong decision. But a layer one is a really big challenge, and I think a lot of people have tried and failed. And yeah, I just don't think that it's an easy problem to solve, and you need huge amounts of adoption to get over the hurdles. And yeah, it's a big challenge. So I'm going to choose to dump Sei. What about you, Alex? Do you have any thoughts?
Okay.
What's your decision?
Yeah. I was going to say to hold Celestia. I agreed with you because I see it as a very interesting project and not necessarily it's a it just seems that it resolves a very interesting problem. Then I was going to hold Sei, not
Flip,
for anything else apart from hold Celestial, flip Sei, just price action wise. I still didn't fully understand the full value of Sei and whether they actually do solve that trilemma. But in any case, it's pretty impressive to see what this token has done. And launched a few months ago, it's already on the top 50. So I think that it's got lots of potential. And not because I would, full disclosure, I actually was lucky enough to get some Jupiter tokens. Not that this is what I would do, but since I need to choose, I would dump Jupiter because I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen. And, I have to choose one of these. So I would dump Jupe because that's what I need to do.
Yeah, so interesting.
Making enemies in Solana. I'll be making enemies.
We're both on the Celestia long-term success train, though. So we'll revisit this in a few weeks' time when we do our analysis of previous hold, flip, and dump episodes, and we'll see what the price action has been since then. It's always interesting to come back and have a look. So I'm looking forward to that one. And we'll be doing the same again next week, third episode of 2024. We'll be looking at 3 tokens, holding one, flipping the other, and dumping the other.
Brilliant.
Fabrizio, do you want to add anything to any of that? Do you want to go in with a hold, flip, or dump decision, or are you going to hold that decision for later?
Yeah, let me say that I'm very bad flipper and dumper. I'm a holder. So, but I'm pretty agree with you about Jupiter. Probably stay talking to dump, Celestia to hold, if I'm not wrong, if you say this. for the future airdrop, of course. And about to say, yes, I'm not very sure what's the utility of the token, but it seems that if I stay the token, I will be eligible for future airdrops. So, and as far as I know, is one of those token. I mean, JP Morgan invested in Celestia, and sorry, not in Celestia, in Say. So I think you should take this in account.
Interesting. Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good thing to know. Cool. All right. Well, that's whole flip and dump for this week. Thank you everyone for participating, and
Thank you.
we'll see you
Cheers.
again next week.
Brilliant.
Take care, guys.
Yeah. Bye bye.